remember this video. Today I'm going to go back to the hand drill and I'm going to walk you through the whole process. Spent about a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, researching some wood, black willow, weeping willow, ash, poplar, cottonwood, I think. And that was about a month ago. Yeah, it's been a while. That was about a month ago. So I remember some things of what I was doing research on. I cut everything down fresh, and it said that it took about 7 days for it to dry before you can actually get a coal or an ember from it. And I waited for like 2 weeks, more than 7 days. And a lot of the wood wouldn't do anything. So I don't know if it was wrong on my end or if it was the wrong material. I don't know. But today we're going to just start all the way over. So if I'm right, I believe that's a black willow right there. But at the same time, that one, the big one behind all that brush, also resembles, but the leaves, if I can zoom in here, the leaves don't match up to this one. I feel dumb. This is a willow. That is a willow. That one is a willow. I just looked straight up on this branch and this one right here, real high, and it's the same pattern of the leaf, and they're alternating on each side of the stem. I think that's the correct term. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not a tree expert. I'm going off of what I remember. Okay, I may be butchering that, but I do know that this is black willow because of how it grows. They shoot straight up randomly like this. And they also grow towards like close to water in the creeks down there. So I know these are willow, and it's kind of dead right here, and it falls off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this. And I might look around also to find cottonwood or poplar, tulip poplar. I might have to go. Actually, I have to go down that way to get tulip poplar. But we'll take from this one. We'll go down that way. We'll try to find cottonwood, and if we can, we'll just get tulip poplar. There are some down there. I just want to give this hand drill one more go. So let's gather from here and go get the poplar. It's dead and dry, but you don't want it to be too dead to where it crumbles like that, and that's because that's the exposed part. So I'm gonna go for more like right here where this knot is, so I have a little bit of thickness too. Hopefully this works. So this is probably the straightest one I could find. But you see how white it is? Still kind of fresh. It's dry, it's real dry. But the previous set that I had was like this as well, and it wasn't producing a coal. And it's got some warps in it. It's not as straight as I would like it. That's what causes your blisters and these. little knots on it and stuff. But for a bow drill, it's perfectly fine. It'll work. I actually wouldn't need it to be that long. It'd probably go like that or something. So we want it to look a little bit more dead, okay? And we want the spindle to not lose as much wood. We want the board to actually lose as much wood and get a lot of the dust to form that coal from the board rather than losing material through our spindle. And right here you can tell the difference between that. It resembles the dead wood like on this hearth board. So I'm gonna go with this one, but I'm gonna go with like here to here is probably the straightest. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Oh, a little bit shorter, I guess, to identify the tree with the leaves rather than the bark only. Because there's some trees that you can identify just by the bark, like pine, which they're evergreen, so that's pretty much easy. But some other trees, like standing right here and looking at what I think is willow, yeah, like right here behind y'all, this one is a willow, but the other side also has that rigid texture, but it's more blocky. Rather than that one, it's all different kinds of shapes and they're long. The one next to it is more blocky, and when you touch it, is like softer, a softer bark. So I don't know if that's I'm not an expert. I don't know if that's ash or what. But what I do know is that softwood is what you want. You want to get your finger, and if you can put a dent in it, and it shows that lash that you just created, that's good for a bow drill. So I didn't have to go far. This is poplar. What's under the leaves is probably already decaying. Yeah, you can see how that's dust too much. I don't want that. That's going to eat away from the material too quickly. This is off the ground. Again, it's been dry. So this is what I want to get. I probably want this to be my spindle. This is the straightest. We'll do one of my spindles. And then I'll probably do this one as my second spindle. If this is too skinny and doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And then right here will be my hearth board. So I'll break it off right here. And you'll know if it's poplar because whenever you rip off that bark, it's like paper, right? And has a distinctive smell too. So yeah, you'll definitely know if it's poplar. And this is it. So I'm gonna crack it about right here. Okay, I got everything that I need. I need it to be a little bit thick. So first I'm going to take as much of the bark off. And this poplar is also called tulip poplar, or yellow poplar. This one I know very well because I use this all the time. And I discovered it on accident. If I'm being completely honest. About right there to here is my hearthboard. A little bit more thick and long. I didn't bring my saw, so I just have to do whatever I can with this little knife. It smells good. So I got high hopes for this one. I may try this one first, honestly. It's hot, and I don't feel like sweating, so we'll do that one. So again, I was just doing this, and that's not very, that's not a big hole for my big spindle. So again, I got to get the same diameter as that one, or close to it. So I'm gonna do one little hole right here, like northeast, southwest. I'm gonna do one little hole right below that, not even an inch. And now it's conjoined together, and I'm gonna go west, do the same thing. I'm gonna go east, do the same thing, and then try to like get all of that together. If that made sense. Yeah, perfect. You know what? I'm feeling good about this, honestly. It looks pretty dry, feels pretty dry, smells pretty dry. No, it smells like tulip popping. But it does look and feel dry. So I'm hoping I'm gonna just play it safe and cut a little bit off right here. Okay, so what I've noticed is that you want, again, repeating the same information that I've already said and others have said. You want this to be like a dull pencil. You want it to be flat so you can get a lot of friction on the board, right? You want the outside, while it eats into the wood, you want this to have friction or like little edges on it so it can eat into that wood a little bit better. And that's where you're going to get a lot of your friction from. And then as you continue to go in, it'll gradually open that hole on the board wider, 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 eating material away. And it has to get a certain temperature before it starts to combust into, a coal, and then from that into a flame. Now with this poplar, you just rip it in shreds, like you shred it in little pieces. And then you rub it between your hands. You want to make it real fine, so a lot of that material can ignite, quite easily. Doesn't take much. You see dust, right? It's very fibrous. That's what I want. So one little spark on anything, it's going to go. And that's going to be the top one. This one, do the same thing. It doesn't have to be too like skinny or like shredded. And it doesn't have to be too fibrous. Not that, it can't be at all. That most definitely helps. But this one, just a little here and there, break it up. But this one's really gonna hold the other one that's gonna capture the coal. Okay, so that's what we want. I have a good feeling. Freaking ant just bit me. So floating hands is whenever you're, rubbing it, going the full length of your palm, and you're not really putting down too much pressure because you don't need it right now. You're just trying to warm it up so you can get some smoke so that you can then create your hearthboard. Okay, so you're basically drilling a hole in the hearthboard to where your spindle fits because there's not one right there yet. Makes sense? So this right here, there's a little pressure, there's a little oomph to it, but it's not like really going at it. So as soon as you see smoke or take time to not get bit by an ant again. You see smoke or you see that hole being formed. I'll probably zoom in on that. Once you see that hole being formed and it starts to smoke a little bit, so I've done it to where it doesn't smoke at all, but I'm also doing the bow drill, so that's a little bit easier. With this one, you want it to get to where it starts to smoke because you know that the spindle fits into that hearthboard or that hole very well. Okay, so it's absolute no space between the spindle and the hearthboard. Okay, and also you don't want to go side to side. You want to go elbows in to your hips and go the full length and try to keep it in one area. I might have to use my shoe because that's hurting my foot. These ants keep on climbing on me. There we go. I don't know why they keep following me, dude. Leaning your body weight into it helps as well. I got a little smoke. Oh, that took a long, long time. Okay. So now I gotta create my V notch. Methods and ideas for everything. I just like to go like I don't even think that's half an inch. Like just barely, just barely at the middle, almost touching the middle. And then I like to go under as well, so it gives it more room for the dust to pile up. This is probably the hardest part right here. All I'm going to do is create more edges on this. I don't want to eat into the end of it. I want to just create small edges, as little as possible of material that I can get off of it. And then at the top, I want to just, not cut material off, just shape it up a little bit, give it more of a flattened appeal to it. And then probably going to make this a little bit better because it is eating into my hand. I didn't even do anything up here. It's a lot better. All right, same thing. We're just going to stay like this for a while. Just try to get that dust piled back up. Try to reheat the board and the spindle. You can hear that little squeaking back and forth. That's good as friction. That's what I want. All right, dust is piling. Now I really go at it. Smoking. All right, so did I get it? No, I didn't get it. So I had a lot of smoke, and you can see right here that it will work. Okay, this is perfect. Um, yeah, this is definitely gonna work. I don't know if it has moisture or I should have just went a little bit longer. I don't know, but I don't have a lot of storage to keep going at it. I don't want to make an hour video, so I'm gonna probably let this dry out for, I don't know, maybe a couple days, and I'll probably do a short instead of making a whole another video about this. This will be the third video. If I did one, it'll be the third one I'll make. So I'll probably just do a short. I'll give this time to dry out, maybe. It was probably me, because I was going for a while, and then I went to go hard again, and it popped out, and then I didn't want to go back into it because I saw the dust smoking a little bit, but yeah, it was nowhere near getting a coal, so I just lit it up. I'll make a short of getting a fire going. I'll shape this up again, give it time to dry out, make it a little bit better. But that is from the last video and the last attempts. All the other attempts that I've tried, this was the best so far. Okay, like all that was on film. I didn't cut anything, or I won't cut anything. That was like 5 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes total of just ongoing with my hands. My hands don't hurt; they feel fine. Right spindle size, right hearthboard size. Created a coal. Maybe I need to take a little bit more material off the top. Maybe it just needs to dry out a little bit. Again, I won't know. I'm gonna just let it dry out for like 2-3 days and shape it up, really define how I want it to be defined. Make a short of me getting a fire going with the hand drill to show y'all that it works. Again, based off of what I gathered so far, this was the closest with little effort. I did sweat a little bit. That's because I'm having a long sleeve and a beanie. But if I were to give it another go, spend another hour, 30 minutes or so on it, I'm sure that I'll get it. But again, I just want to rest. Don't beat me up too bad if you did want to see me get the fire going with a hand drill. But I promise you, I will make a short. There's no need not to make a short with results like that. Okay, this is the closest I've ever gotten it. So stay tuned for that short. Again, 2-3 days. This will be dry, bone dry. It feels dry. I don't know why it didn't work that well. Again, maybe it's just me. Like I was going, and then I went to go down again, and then it just popped out to my left. I already have a bad shoulder too, so for me, like I would probably go with a bow drill if I had to get anything off the land. I'd go with a bow drill. I do like the hand drill because it's like very primitive and you're in tune with nature. But to sit like this for a long period of time, like by all means, like if I absolutely had to, I would. But to keep going at it like this, and I got a bad shoulder, to keep going like that, that's a lot. So let's get some more firewood. Let's get some coffee. And some rice too. I'm gonna go ahead and just cook some rice.